What's going on, guys? It's Drake back again with another video, and today we're going over the 2022, NBA All-Star Ballot. I'm really excited about this. It's the first time I actually get to go through a full ballot, so this will be pretty exciting. I'm going to pull it up now, and you guys will see what I mean. Maybe I pull it up now. Maybe I don't. And it doesn't look like it's gonna pull up. So let's see here. Let's see. We're gonna get this right. Nope, this is live stream. Perfect. All right. So we're gonna improvise here. Let's improvise. Cancel. And there we go. Perfect. All right. So for our starters, here we go. So for our starters, I don't know if I want to go east or west first. I think we'll just go west first. For our first guard, of course, this is. Let me just give a little bit of an introduction here. So there are so many good players in this league. There's always going to be snubs. So if you are very upset that your favorite player did not make it, I just want to say that they probably deserve to make it, but there's only 12 spots on each roster. So uh, please, it's okay. You're just because your favorite player doesn't make the All-Star game doesn't mean that they are a bad player. Trey Young didn't make the All-Star game last year, and actually a lot of players that probably deserved to make it didn't make it. But the guys that did make it also deserved it, and it's just how it goes. So the first guard, I mean, come on, I don't think this is a question. Steph Curry is going to be an All-Star starter, and then the second guard is actually pretty tough. If it were, I think you'd go Ja Morant right now. It's really close between him and Donovan Mitchell. Both been playing really well. Actually, Donovan Mitchell's Jazz is close to the top of the West. But Ja Morant's Grizzlies certainly are in competition. I'm gonna choose Ja Morant. I think he's what's the most buzzing right now. I don't think people can disagree with this. I think yeah, Donovan Mitchell. He'll definitely be the first guard that I pick as far as the bench goes and all that. But yeah, so that's who I'm gonna pick for my guards. And let me go back to view my picks. So Ja Morant, Steph Curry are the two guards, starting guards. Now let's go to forwards here. Of course, LeBron. He's having an MVP type season, and I'm saying this completely because I truly do believe he's playing absolutely amazing basketball right now. Obviously, his team's not winning games, but look at these stats, man. It's ridiculous what he's doing at the age of 37. And I said last year that on TikTok that I didn't think LeBron at the beginning of the season. I didn't think LeBron deserved the MVP, and people were just like, "Oh no, you're just a hater. LeBron deserves the MVP. I don't know what you're talking about." Well, I think he does deserve. I think he does deserve some significant uh, input in favor of him in terms of the MVP conversation. So, um, yeah, and then we're gonna go Jokic. I don't think that's a question either. As far as the West goes, I don't think anybody comes close to Jokic. Paul George has actually been winning games with the Clippers. I think they're around 500 right now, but it's just Paul George and everyone else right now. So very impressed with him. But it's definitely Nikola Jokic and LeBron James. I don't think there's any question about that. And then, well, I guess for our third and final forward, yeah, this one's tough. I mean, the Timberwolves are kind of playing above expectations right now, just a little bit. Uh, this is tough though. I don't think. Obviously, it's not gonna be Anthony Davis. He's been injured for too long. I don't think Brandon Ingram is someone you take. Yeah, I think Karl. It's between Karl Anthony Towns and Paul George for me. Unless there's someone down. No. Well, actually, nope. Rudy. Shoot. I forgot about Rudy. It might actually have to be Rudy. No way a Jazz player doesn't get a starter, I feel like. Do I go Rudy? I think I got it. That's tough. That's really tough. It depends on what you value the most. Because Rudy Gobert this year, he has been a huge reason. I mean, of course, that the Jazz have as many wins as they do. One of the best records in the NBA because, I mean, everybody is just closing in on Rudy Gobert, and that's what leaves the Utah Jazz shooters so open. Just a drive and kick from Donovan Mitchell, or when Donovan Mitchell has the ball in the corner and he's trying to get it to Rudy Gobert, there's like three guys collapsing on him, so that means one or two guys are open from three, drive and kick. It's just been so. Rudy Gobert makes the Utah Jazz offense so much better, even though it might not show up on the stat sheet, even though he's scoring a pretty efficient 16 points per game. It's just I gotta go Rudy Gobert here. I you obviously I get Paul George and Karl Anthony Towns. I mean, but Rudy Gobert has just been so good for the Jazz this year, so good. Okay. So now we go to the East here. East starters. The first, I can't spend too much time here. DeMar DeRozan obviously gets in there. I don't think that's a question. And then I had a hard time debating between Trey Young and Zach LaVine. Trey Young is putting up stellar stat. I think it's got to be Trey Young. I think Zach LaVine's a first East guard off the bench. And then you could go like Harden, or I think you go Harden here. Harden and Bradley Beal, because look at all these guards too. Like, again, it's going to be hard to, because there's so many good guards playing in the East right now. So then we go to our forwards. Kevin Durant, obviously. Giannis, of course. And this is probably like the easiest three ever. Kevin, Giannis, Joel. Yeah, I don't see how anybody's ahead of him. Adebayo's been injured. Vooch is not going to get in. Excuse me. I can't think of anybody else who would be in. Jimmy Butler is probably going to be the Jason Tatum, of course. Jason Tatum's been better as of late, it seems, but so those are our starters. I think the really difficult one was the Rudy Gobert one. The East was pretty easy for the most part as terms of starters, but I just couldn't go away from Rudy Gobert there. No, those are our starters there. Yeah, so that's it. Those are my starters. I guess I forgot that you don't do any bench voting, which is interesting. But yeah, those are my starters. Let me know what you guys think about that. I feel like I should talk more about why I like this like these two lineups, but let me know what you guys think. I'll try to extend this over 10 minutes here. Try to talk more on it. We're gonna go full screen again, and it's gonna look better. All right. So obviously Curry. You could argue Donovan Mitchell over Morant. I wouldn't argue with you there, but I just think John Morant. What John Morant is doing, it's been spectacular. I mean, the dude's a stud. What else can I say? Really, he's such a good playmaker. He can penetrate. His three has been so much better this year. I mean, he's improved so much, and people are starting to question if the Pelicans should have taken John Morant over Zion Williamson, only because of the injury questions. I bet if Zion Williamson was completely healthy, I don't think there'd be a question right now of who was better. And I'm leaning towards Zion, obviously, but man, John Morant has just been able to stay healthy, so he's the guy there. Uh, LeBron, again, MVP level. I think, if you look at the MVP list right now, I think Curry is hanging on by a thread right now. I think Giannis has his say in it. I think Jokic, I think it's like Curry, and then I think it's LeBron. Like I think LeBron could already be uh, there, but it's just hard because his team's not winning games, and I think that's why LeBron isn't very much being talked about as much as like a Curry or Jokic or Antetokounmpo because I don't know what are the Denver Nuggets right now? I don't know if I could because if Jokic is in the conversation, why? Okay, let's see. Denver Nuggets. Oh, they do them dirty with the old logo. Interesting. Um, they're only 18 and 17. I mean, the Lakers are like hovering around 500 too. So I don't know. I think it's like Curry, Giannis, and LeBron to me as far as MVP goes. I mean, you could throw in Durant, you could throw in Derozan, but those I don't know. I really have to go over and I got to make up my own MVP list now. So I gotta. That's another video idea. Of course, I already talked about Jokic. He might be the best playmaker in the league, and he's a center. It's ridiculous. But Rudy Gobert, again, it's not what he does with the ball. It's what he just exists, and the Jazz offense is so much better when he's in there just by existing. He's so big that he needs like three guys to defend him, and that leaves all the floor spacers on the Jazz. And the Jazz have a lot of floor spacers with Bogdanovich, Ingles, and Mitchell obviously can shoot, Jordan Clarkson, and all those guys are always going to be open because Rudy Gobert exists, and nobody can figure out how to stop him. So that's kind of why I had him here. You could go Karl Anthony Towns for sure. I think pound for pound, like talent-wise, Karl Anthony Towns is probably a top 3 center in the league. And I would put him over Gobert in like pound for pound talent. But I just like Gobert. So, and I think that's who it will be. I think it also is kind of like, who do I think will be in the All-Star game? I think Rudy Gobert has a better chance than Karl Anthony Towns, and it's nothing against Karl Anthony Towns, it's just how the league votes. Trey Young, of course, he's despite bad team play around him and just so many players being out. The Hawks have had a hard time just playing defense, and their offense has been sort of minimal. It's just been him and Clint Capella for most of it, really. But now Trey Young's putting up like 28 and like 9 and 3 or something ridiculous. So he's been amazing. DeRozan, DeRozan doesn't put up like the crazy statistics like near triple double, 30-point triple double statistics that like a Trey Young does, or like a prime James Harden did. Or Giannis does, LeBron. But the thing about him is he's just such an efficient scorer, and when it comes clutch time, he's probably the best guy in the NBA. So that in his mid-range, nobody is able to stop it right now. Although I did say once they face the Bucks, I feel like DeRozan's going to get exposed a little bit, but I feel like any other team in the league does not have the personnel that can stop DeMar DeRozan. So it's an amazing story because everybody thought that DeMar DeRozan was like a fringe, all-star guy, even like less than that. However, less you want to state him because, he's just a 20-point per game scorer who dishes out like 5 or 6 assists. He's not that special a player. He's not really that much of a star. He's a star, but not really a superstar. He's shown to be an absolute superstar for the Bulls, who are in the first seed in the Eastern Conference right now. Well, whether that changes remains to be seen, but definitely a possibility. But the Bulls are first in the Eastern Conference, so I think their best player should be an All-Star starter. Kevin Durant, I mean, how is Kevin Durant not an All-Star starter? I mean, this guy consistently puts up 29, 30 points per game every season, 28 to 30 points per game every season. Such an efficient scorer from inside out, mid-range. One of the best if you want to talk about DeMar DeRozan as one of the best mid-range shooters in the league, Kevin Durant's right there. So, it's an absolute efficient scoring machine who can defend. He has the length. He can get blocks, steals, just like this guy right here, Giannis, of course. Giannis is the same way as Kevin Durant, except, man, he is so much more physically demanding for defenses. You need so many guys on him, and he's going to make sure that he finds the open man once he's, double teamed, triple teamed. He's going to be there. He's gonna make sure that he's going to find somebody open. And the Bucks just won a championship. There's just no way Giannis is not in the starting lineup. Joel Embiid. Okay, so Joel Embiid, I have a jersey, a Joel Embiid jersey, because it's just how much I love Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid is one of the most gifted low post scorers I've ever seen in anything, really. I think, it's Hakeem Olajuwon, it's like Tim Duncan, and Joel Embiid is somewhere in there. I'm not trying to overhype Embiid, but like that, I feel like people would disagree with that because he just doesn't do it enough. He doesn't go to low post enough. He's more of a face up guy. He likes to do face up and everything like that. I feel like if Embiid gets to the post more and the Sixers just let him work, and his playmaking has gotten better every single season. I feel like they could just build around that. Joel Embiid in the low post, he's going to demand a lot of attention. If the Sixers can just get some shooters, because they only have guys like Seth Curry, and Danny Green's he's been disappointing ever since he's been off the Raptors, really. They need to get more shooters around Joel Embiid. Shake Milton, he's on and off. Tobias Harris also on and off. It's just they need a consistent shooter outside of Seth Curry, and I think they'd feel comfortable, with Embiid in the low post. I feel like they really, I don't know, man. It's just something about Embiid and his footwork in the post. He's just one of the most gifted low post scorers I have ever seen. So that's why I put him in the. And he's been playing a great year. He just got Player of the Month. That's just how he is. So you guys could do what you want with that. That's just my argument for these All-Star starters. Let me know what you think in the comments.